Hi everyone, I'm Liliana with Craft Studio Seasonal Wreaths and Holiday Decor, and today I would like to work on a spring deco mesh wreath. This wreath is going to be a little bit different than the ones that I've made recently because I'm actually going to work with 21-inch mesh. It's 21-inch burlap mesh, so this is exciting. It's been a while since I've worked with 21-inch, so I'm just going to get started because the 21-inch mesh is a little bit more difficult to handle because obviously when you're used to working with 10-inch, you have more than double here. So before I get started, like I said, this is going to be 21-inch burlap. We have a 10-inch pink mesh. We have our sign. Obviously the sign is what guides us. And these are the reason why I picked the colors. The reason this border here is basically why I picked the burlap. Also, because the sign has pinks in it, I'm going to use this pink ribbon. It's like a pink canvas. It's really pretty, really pretty. And then because this sign has a bit of blue in it, if you look at here, it has some blues. So I really wanted to tie in some of the blues. So I am using this blue farmhouse stripe ribbon. See that? Let's see how that looks. Let's see. Finally, because the sign has yellows and pink florals, we're gonna tie in these. I also picked a greenery. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it yet, but I have a greenery that I was considering in using. But like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it yet. Let's see how full we get because that's part of the reason why I use the 21-inch. Because I want it to be a little bit thicker, because I want it to be able to add three types of greenery to it, 3 types of florals to it. So I'm going to be adding mesh to I'm going to be adding florals to the mesh using the steel pick machine. So I needed to have more coverage in order to be able to to take hold. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the back. We're going to get started. The greenery is already ready to go. I had already cut it I think last week I had already cut it because I was thinking about using it on a different on a different project, and then I decided not to use it. So the greenery is ready to go. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet, but let's get started because we're working with 21-inch and it's been a while since I've worked with 21-inch mesh. So, and I'm excited. This is stuff that excites me. I love 21-inch mesh. I just love how full it looks. That's basically it. I love the fullness of it. But like anything, things that are bigger, they're going to be a little bit more work when you're working with 21-inch. Hola, papi. Hi. Hello. ¿Cómo estás? Sorry, English today, Dad. Sorry. Mañana. Tomorrow, Spanish. You understand me. Okay, so we have we're going to work with this on obviously because it's going to be a 24-inch work wreath. Before I always get started, I always try to find the 2 points that are closest to each other, so that way when I bridge over from the top to bottom levels, they're pretty close to each other. So I'm going to start right here. Now this is going to be, I don't know if you've ever worked with 21-inch mesh. Just give yourself space. Just give yourself some space, okay? Because this is, you know what? Let me get my glue gun out of the way because I don't want it to like end up falling and flying all over the place. I have space here, but I'm working on half my table because I have just stuff on the rest of it. And it's not like you could see it anyways. Pretty soon you will be. Pretty soon I'm going to, for now, I'm still streaming off my phone. So, okay. So let's get all this other stuff out of the way because we don't want it to get caught. All right. So the 21-inch burlap mesh, the good thing about it is like that it's soft. So it's easy to handle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab about 5 inches, and it's the same exact thing as if you're working, well, it's actually about 4. No, I did 6. Wow, my math is off. Okay, same exact thing as if you were working with a 10-inch mesh. Same exact thing. The thing is that you just have more to grab and more, it's just more. It's just more. And it's fuller. But the good thing about mesh is that it's not like it's crazy heavy, so it's not like you're adding that much more weight to your wreath. But it's just more to grab onto, more to handle when you're working. I'm going to do the same thing with 10-inch loops. Sometimes when you're working with the 21 inch, some people work with 8-inch loops inside and then the 10-inch outside. Let me see. Do I want to do 8 inches on the outside? Let's test it out. It's been a while. But you see how much coverage you have there? And that's only it's only 8 inches. So you know what? Let's stick with the 8 inches. Let's do 8 inches on the inside. And part of the reason why I'm going to do 8 inches on the inside is because my sign is small. I don't have a ginormous sign. My sign is very small. So I'm not sure. I believe I'm going to put it more towards the middle. So I wanted to give it more space. All right, so let's work with 8 inches. Let me see. I might change my mind if I'm like two loops in. I could still change my mind. I don't want to change my mind further. Yeah, I changed my mind. I just changed my mind. You know what it is that the loops are not that. You know what? Let's go to 10. Let's go to 10. But I have done it before. Where I just do 10 all the way around. I mean, I'm sorry, 8 on top and then 10 at the bottom. Sorry. Why did I change my mind? The reason I changed my mind is because the spacing is not exact. And yes, I could just... Oh, this looks huge now. It's okay. It's fine. We could play with it. We could play with it. Let's go to 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. So the spacing is sometimes off. And what I mean by the spacing is between the ties. And always the first one seems to be like the bigger one. And I don't have to measure them, but I like to. So this big guy right here, I'm going to make it smaller. Once we get to that side, again, I'm going to just make it smaller because it looks way too big. Way, way, way too big. But I'm going to stick with the 10s. Now, even though we're working with a 10-inch mesh, I'm sorry, a 21-inch mesh, as opposed to the 10-inch, you still have to make sure, I mean, it still helps to make that third level in between, because you still get the gaps. It's not as bad, but you still get the gaps. But you see how much more fuller it looks? I said, yeah, that was a double, sorry. It looks, how much fuller it looks. Okay, and then here I have two that are a little bit closer to each other. Okay. Yeah, so those first two are a little bit off. We're gonna go back and play with them afterwards. But see, that's how it should be looking. The first two, it's not that I measured them incorrectly because I did measure them correctly. So what I'm gonna do is just do it visually, fix them. You still have to make sure that your seams, like the edges, are in, even if it's 21 inch. Just make sure you do that. Okay, so here I am, Friday night, late, my usual time. I tried coming on earlier, I really did. I wanted to, but not working. I mean, last week I was actually on earlier. Today it didn't work. Eventually, someday I'll be able to make a set schedule. But now, I guess once my kids get older. For now, we're just winging it. I'm here, just watch the playback. Just remember to do #replay if you're watching the playback. Okay, before I get to the last one, see how it looks like yucky? Let's fix that. Let's fix it. So we could fix it by, let's measure it out. Do you want to measure it? Because remember, this was the first one. The first one is always like a little bit weird to me. See? Much nicer. Much nicer. And then the second one is also looking a little bit not so nice. Let's fix you. How do we fix this one? Because this one, the issue, if we're gonna call it an issue, because it's not really an issue, you're not really gonna see it once we add all our stuff to it, is that it has it looks like really big, and it doesn't have like all the curls, let's call them, that the other one has. Nope, don't like it. Let's go back to the way I had it. It's okay to change your mind. You're designing. Totally fine. Okay. And then once we add our sign and everything, you're not really going to see that as much, but I'm trying to keep them all to be as level and as even as possible. So we're good there. So now we're at the last one. I actually like when little issues happen, because that way you see how you can fix them. I mean, instead of panicking. I mean, when I first started out, something like that would just like make me go crazy, and it's understood. But that's why I like doing as much as possible on camera, so you can see how I resolve the potential issue, which really isn't an issue. It's just a little situation you got to take care of. Okay, so the first, what we started with, we're going to tuck it in underneath. Okay? Let's tuck that so you can't see it, because that's not pretty. Later on, we could cut it and then loop it in underneath. But here we have our first level. Okay? So now we're going to bridge over. We're going to grab our mesh, try to hold it as tightly as you can, if possible. And, oops, I still have my thing. All right, and then just bring it over to the bottom. And tie it. Okay? Now those ties are gonna get opened 2 or 3 more times. 2 times, maybe? Yeah, 2 times. So that's why it's like you're trying to make them as tight as possible, but you're gonna open them again. As long as it visually your end product looks good. Make sure it looks good. Things are in place. Design wise, it looks nice. You'll be fine. Okay, so these are 10-inch loops with a 21-inch mesh. Look how much mesh we have. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love my 21-inch. I miss it. I have like tons of 21-inch there waiting for me to play with it, and I hadn't. So today I was like, you know what? I already had my 10-inch ready to go, and I said, no, we're doing 21. And 21, I feel like it also gives me the liberty to add more stuff to fill up the wreath a little bit more. Okay, so same thing, we're going around. Oh, that's what happened. I found my issue. Oh my God. Okay, so the reason why, see, oh my, I'm doing like issues after issues today. The reason why this thing wasn't making sense up here is because I skipped the tie. Oh my gosh, we gotta take up the whole thing. We gotta take it apart. Ah, not the whole thing, not the whole thing. Let's remove the bridge. It's like, let's just end the transmission and start all over again. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, let's leave the bridge for now. Let's go from, I'm gonna work from back to front. So I'm gonna do the 10 inches. I can't believe I missed that. So basically where I bridged over, that little piece is what I'm gonna, where I started with is what I'm gonna work backwards. Wow, and I didn't notice that. I'm on a roll today. No wonder there was so much. I wonder if I undid it before. Wow, I was already on my 2nd level. It's like somebody out there is hearing me when I said, yeah, I like when issues happen, but it wasn't like that, you know? Doesn't mean send me more challenges. This is too many now. Okay. Alright, so we got the 10. There we go. That's what it was. I'm glad I noticed it. Because then once you're, if I would have been completely finished with the bottom level, that would not have been as easy. Okay, same thing. 10 inches. Fun times where I was watching me. okay. Now, there we go. That's why it was driving me insane. I'm like, what is going on here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Then, nice. This is where we started. This is what we're going to tuck in underneath. Okay. Actually, we could do one more. Can we do one more there? Yeah, we can. No, because that's where I started. Nope. Nope, 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 not doing that. 21 inches, welcome me back lovely today. Welcome back to 21. It's been a long time. So I had to undo that little bit. But I did it backwards. Instead of undoing the whole thing and coming back around, I just undid the beginning of it. Because we have an end there. So I'm going to go back, do the same thing, bridge over, and then start working on the bottom level. Fun times. Fun times. Okay, I already tucked this underneath. Just cut it. Okay, let's bridge over. I already did it. But hey, better now than at the very end. I don't have wood to knock on, but it's never happened to me at the very end, thank God. Okay, let's keep going. 10 inches. That's why it's good to see it live. Because technically, if I edit this, I'll cut this part out. Like on YouTube, my YouTube videos, I would cut this out. Because on YouTube, you don't want to see that. Live, huh? You're seeing it. It stays on Facebook. It is what it is. YouTube, we edit those. Make them a little bit faster. Take out the fluff. Okay, now we're on the roll. It was driving me insane. Seeing that big bump there, like I couldn't figure it out. Which had I noticed it before, I think I would have kept with the 8 inches. But it's okay. It's totally fine. Let's see what we have so far. It's so pretty. I love my 21 inch. Love it, love it, love it. But do you see the difference? I really wish I had a 10 inch one. A 10 inch base here so I could show you the difference of them next to each other. Okay, just remember that as you work, fluff it up. Do what you need to do to it instead of waiting for the end to go all the way around and come back and start fluffing them. Do it as you're doing it. You open your tie, you add it, close your ties, fluff it up, poof it up, rearrange it, whatever it is that you need to do. It's like get it over with now as opposed to coming back later because you're gonna miss something. There's a good chance you'll miss something. I mean, always nice to come back regardless but look at the 21 inch, how you don't have that as much need as for that third layer in here, that third level. You don't need it as much. I still add it because I still don't like to see these little holes here, but you have a lot more coverage with the 21 inch. Lot more coverage. I first started with 21 inch, and after starting with 21 inch, actually last year was the first time I started working with 10 inches. Well, 10 inch as a base, 10" as a second level. Like for ruffles, I've always done that. But for as a base, last year was the first time I started doing it. And it took a lot because I just felt like it didn't look as full, which it doesn't, but it doesn't look bad, especially if you're gonna add, you know, once you add your ribbons and you add your florals or whatever it is that you're gonna do to fill it up, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. But I'll admit that it took a lot for me to take that leap. I did not want to take the 10" leap as a base. And I'm glad I did. Because I also feel like you have a lot more options available in terms of colors and different styles of mesh. 10" I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, I feel like I have a lot more color options, quality options when it comes to the 10". Okay. Almost at the end. So what I'm doing now is just pulling them, making sure that my ends are tucked in, fluffing it up. And I am at the last one. So once we get to the last one, we're gonna open it. So I'm using my pinky here. We're gonna add the mesh to the same exact spot where we started. We're gonna close it again right there. And now we're gonna do a third layer. A third level, sorry. I keep saying layers. This one is gonna be 8" as opposed to 10. And the point is that we're gonna fill in right here, these open spaces. So we're gonna go from bottom to bottom. I always say there's people that like to zigzag. They switch, they alternate from top to bottom. I like to stick to the bottom. I don't know, I just feel more, I feel like I'm not repeating it. That's just me. That's just my preference. I feel like I have to overthink the zigzag. Okay, so now you're gonna, not that you're gonna struggle, but you have to make sure that you push your mesh out of the way a bit. So we're gonna open our ties, add our mesh to it, close it, do the same things again, fix it, make it look pretty, and now you see how it's like uniform. You don't have that break in there. Same thing again. We're gonna do 8". Just have a few more. Again, push the top mesh out of the way, push the bottom one, add that, we close it, and fluff it up a bit. It's like you're fluffing it, but you're hiding it. And again, you don't have to measure this, but I find I like to measure. That's just me. That's my over-analytical self. But you will save more time. If you don't measure, you save more time. Okay. Push them out of the way. Open the bottom one. And we still have to open these ties once more. The last time that we're going to open them is going to be to add our ribbons. Okay, so where am I? The mesh fell off the table, that's why you don't see it. But it's actually helping me because I don't have to struggle with it. It felt perfectly. See, that's what we have so far. See how full that looks? I'm telling you, 21 inches is awesome. But I have a lot more tents to work with. I have a lot of tents. I bought a lot of tents for my summer. I already planned out a lot of designs for summer and spring. Tomorrow night, I think I'm making a grapevine tomorrow night. Had them all laid out. I had a disaster in here last night. I was gonna come live last night, but then I decided to just start planning them out. So I laid out like 4 or 5 of them, so they're ready to go. And unfortunately, some are not gonna be able to get made live because it's already March. First week of March is almost over. Spring is coming, guys. So we need to have our spring stuff already. Should be working on summer. Supposed to be working on summer already. And before you know it, you're gonna be working on autumn already. Before you know it, July, you're already working on, yeah, July, you already start working on fall stuff already. That's crazy. That's crazy. How many more do I need? A few more. Looks so much more full. I love it. I love it. Oh no, I said we're gonna open it once more. We're gonna open it twice more. 2 more times. 2 more times. Because we still have to add the additional mesh. Yes, we do. I really started late today, didn't I? It's already 12. Hey. So I already said goodnight to my son because I know I'm not going to see him. It's Friday night. He can stay up, but I said goodnight. Like, I'm not going to see you, buddy. Unless he comes down here again. Okay. Are we at the end? One more. One more. Yay, one more. One more. Awesome. Okay. So, once we get to the end, we have to cut this. And don't kill yourself because it's not going to be straight. It's not. It's going to be at a weird angle. It's fine. It is what it is. You can't do anything about it. This is how much I have left. And I'm not going to go crazy to try to cut it straight. I'm not. I'm just going to cut it however it is. I'm just rolling it up because it fell off the table. If not, but I'm just cutting it. I'm actually taking long to cut this. Usually I just gather it and cut it. But you see, it is what it is. Never throw these out because you can use these to fill in. Make little loops when you're working in between. We're using a second color. I already thought of something for this one. There's other face methods that you could use them for. So, okay. So now that we're here, we're going to tuck this in. So that first tie has like a lot of stuff going on, those first ties. So we tuck it in, we're hiding it. And there you go. There's our base. Now. We could do, what we're going to do now, I'm going to start tucking these up because I don't want to see that space. See these spaces? That's why we added a middle level because we don't want to see them. So I'm fluffing it up. Making sure that everything is beautiful because we added more mesh for that reason. Okay, so here's our super awesome, pretty base. Okay, so now I'm going to add the pink. I'm going to add this pink. We have 18 ties, so we're going to work with, so I already pre-cut these to save you some time, some sanity, so you have to watch me cut everything. And these were cut at 13 inches. I cut them at 13 because my ribbon is 14. 13 is enough, especially when you have such a full wreath like this. the first thing you're gonna do when you're working with these, if you can see me, can you see me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay, you're gonna tuck these in. You're gonna try to fold it in a tiny bit, and then you're gonna ruffle it. Just gather it. Some people like to make them into like little round loops. I like to ruffle. And once you get to the other end, you're gonna try to tuck it in as well. This is basically to try to limit the amount of fraying that you have. It's gonna fray. I mean, you saw it just fray right now while I was holding it. It's gonna fray. It's gonna happen. But it helps it a tiny bit. And you don't want to see those like edges sticking out. See that? How pretty is that combo? So pretty. Okay, so we have 17 more to go. 17. Let's just go. So I hope everybody's doing better. I heard the temperatures are gonna go up. I'm tired of the cold. My basement is freezing. Freezing, and today I did not put on a sweater. Usually you see me wearing the same sweaters. I'm trying to stay warm down here. It is so cold down here. We haven't opened it up because it's not fully finished, so it is super cold down here. We have all the registers closed. I'm like, pretty soon, like I'm so tempted to open them. I'm like, no, not yet. Not yet. Hopefully by next year we could do it. At least my summertime lives are going to be nice and cool. It's always cool down here. Okay, so you see that there's fraying happening. Like I said, there's always going to be fraying. But do yourself a favor. Oh, what am I doing? I'm on the wrong side. And I don't like to cut them now, especially because I sell these. I don't like to cut them. And the reason is because I'm going to store these, and as great care as I like to take of these wreaths when I store them, there's still going to be a little bit of fraying before the wreath, you know, when it's stored, when you take it out again, when you prep it for shipping. So I don't like to cut too much of these little pieces of mesh until the very end. Until the very, very end. Like, of course, you're going to prep it a bit for the photos, but I don't like to go crazy cutting off too much because I just like to save those, because those are going to help the ones before it, the ones after it. You take those off, then you're asking another one to come off. So I just save those to the very end before they get shipped. At least that's my mentality. That's what I think. Maybe I'm just convincing myself of that. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I tell myself. I'm being lazy. I don't know. I just tell myself that works better than just cutting it off. It helps it. Does it? I don't know. I think it does. But of course, when you have a big one like this, like, just pull it off or cut it. Because that one got in the tie, and that's not pretty. Okay. So we have a few more. How pretty is that combination? This combination, I'm thinking of like a baby wreath, like a baby girl's wreath. Because farmhouse is in, right? So it's like trending. It's delicate. It's like modern at the same time. See what we have so far? And then you have the beige. But the beige, I don't know, it's not white. But if you add the white to it, it looks pretty. My opinion. But I'm thinking of like, do I have a sign that goes with that? Like a baby girl sign? Because I can make the same exact base and just put a different sign and different ribbons on it and get a whole different look to it. You could use the same base for many different designs. It's the same exact base. Meaning the same exact, I'm not talking about the style, I'm talking about the colors. The same exact colors on your base could be used for many different things. Like these colors I'm using from spring. Now I'm thinking about a baby girl. This could work with Christmas gingerbread, the Candyland, right? It's coming soon. All right, this one's a little bit too much for me. This one's a little bit too much. That means I didn't cut this edge properly. That's fine, a little bit too much. Okay, so tuck it in. Same thing. I only worked on the top level, and then we're gonna come back and work on the bottom. Trying to hurry up, but not bore you too much. But this is what I love to do. I love using ruffled mesh. I also use a ruffled mesh with my grapevines. I do it quite a lot actually. I do it a lot, quite often. Okay, so this is the last one for the top level, and then we'll move on to the bottom level. And after our bottom level is complete, we are gonna add the ribbons. Our sign was already prepped. I prepped the sign before we came on, meaning I already added the staples that are holding the pipe cleaners, because that's how we're gonna attach the sign to the wreath. I like to use pipe cleaners. There's many different ways of adding your sign. Some people like to use wire. Like I said, I'm paranoid. I just feel for some reason that the pipe cleaners are thicker. Probably the wire is more secure. It probably is. I don't know. That's just me. We all have our thing. It's no right or wrong. It's just whatever your thing is. That's my thing. Okay, so here I am. Now, with the bottom level, the top level, I'm usually not picky as if I'm using it, if I'm placing it horizontally or vertically. Today I placed it horizontally because I just feel like it added the spaces better for me today. The bottom level, I always add the second mesh vertically. The reason I do that is because when you do your loops, you end up getting these gaps here, and when you add it vertically, it covers it. So it kind of like fills and completes that circle for you. So that's how I like to do it. Okay. Just a few more. We'll move on to our ribbons. It's funny, I'm always saying just a few more of this, just a few more ribbons, just a few more. Heck yeah. I have to go through the whole process. It is what it is. We're working on a wreath. Working on a wreath. It's the process. Make sure you fix your mesh. Looks like I'm fighting with it instead of making sure that it's standing correctly. And I'm tucking everything in on the sides. You don't see the edges. Here we have a little bit of fraying. I'm not gonna work on that now. That's stuff that I'm gonna work with later on, like I said. Later on, you take a scissor and you just snip all of that stuff. Oh, this is one too. I thought this was the roll. Okay. More than halfway done. we're more than halfway with the bottom, I believe. Now, I pre-cut everything before coming live. That saves about, I would say about 20 to 30 minutes off the video, off of the live. And even if I were doing everything live, I would prep everything. I would cut all the ribbons, cut all the mesh, and have it ready to go, so that way we don't have to stop. We don't have to pause just to do more prep work. The cutting of the ribbons, because it's two different ribbons. There's a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch, and then we have the mesh. You also have the sign, which you have to prep. So these are all little things that add a few minutes here, a few minutes there. Next thing you know, you have half an hour more. Especially when we're adding a second level. Here it comes. Good night. Okay. Last 2 more? 3 more? 3 more. 3 more. There we go. Look how pretty that's looking. I keep seeing baby girl. Oh my god. This is pink. Close it, and then we, like I said, we have one more time. I misspoke before. I said this was going to be the last time. Nope. Got one more after this, and we have to open them. Two more, and we're finished with our base. Then our base is officially finished. Well, you know what I mean. Because really, we're always working on the base, right? You're always working on the base. And then you're adding ribbons to it. So it's like, is that when it's finished? Okay. One more. One more. So this wreath has 18 ties. Well, 36 ties, which means every place on the wreath where you could add a ribbon has 2 ties, so that means there's 18 spots. This wreath frame came from Sims Pottery, I want to say. I believe it came from Sims Pottery. So it's more, you know, those are the wholesalers, retailers, even the retailers that sell for wreath making. You tend to find the 18s if you buy them at, let's say, Hobby Lobby, and they have them seasonally. I noticed that Michaels is starting to step up their game when it comes to this, and they're starting to have more, to offer more. What I've seen, I haven't seen the ones that, I can't say that I've seen a Hobby Lobby one with 18 ties. They're usually 15 or 16. Depending, I think it's 16. Yeah, because it's like 7 and 9. 7 and 9, 7 on top and 9 on the bottom. Okay, so this is what we have. Look how pretty, look how cute. Okay, now I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna add the sign. I did this during a live a few weeks ago where I added the sign. I gotta cut this. This is driving me insane. You see how long this is? I gotta cut it. It's like in the way. Way too long. Let's cut it. There we go. That's garbage. So I was so in the zone that I actually added my sign before I added my ribbons. What ended up happening was I ended up loving it because I feel that it ended up making me feel like when I add my ribbons and then I add my sign, I'm crushing the ribbons and then I have to go back and fluff them up. And I felt like I wasn't doing as much fluffing once the sign was first and the ribbons were adding afterwards. So I've made a couple of deco mesh wreaths since then and I've pretty much stuck to that. So I'm gonna stick with it because I'm loving it. Okay, so this is my sign. See my sign? And now you can start getting an idea as to why I chose these colors. Now, this sign has this cute little ball thingy here. I am not removing it yet. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I'm gonna take it off. But for now, I'll leave it and we can cut it off later on. I think it should come off, but for now I'll leave it. I will cut it off later on. Yeah. So this sign, I already added the ties. I already stapled the pipe cleaners, and I added a little bit of glue. So it looks a little bit messy back there because I did it right before and I stood it up, but they're secure. They're secure. So I'm gonna try to add this guy. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to take that off. Okay. So I want this guy centered. Now, the center of the sign is actually going to be at the midpoint. This is the top of the wreath. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know it's upside. This is the top of the wreath, so this is basically the center point, if that makes sense. I don't want there to be a space between 2 points for the top of the wreath because it makes sense to have a higher point in the middle. So that's my logic. My logic. Again, you do whatever feels good, what feels right for you. This is the way I like to do it after having done this for a few years. And things change. That's what like I said, I changed the way I add my ribbons. Just a few weeks ago, I was adding my ribbons first. And I literally just changed it. And I like it. Okay. Now this sign, I'm adding it. I'm not doing an amazing job. And what I mean by that is that I'm not going crazy securing it. That's something that I'm going to do afterwards. After the live, where I'm going to come back, make sure that everything's super secure, make sure that it doesn't move. That's boring stuff that you probably don't want to see. But I could do videos on that. I could do that. Make videos just of myself securing signs. Because you could learn something. But right now I'm just tying it in position. But I'm not going to like add extra glue like I normally do to the back. I'm not doing that stuff right now. Now this wreath is not going to have a bow. I already decided that. No bow. I have a teeny bit of ribbon left over where I could make a small bow. But I usually also have a third ribbon for the bow because I like it to pop out a little bit. I like it to be a little bit different than the wreath. So that way it draws some attention to the bow. But I didn't prep that either. But I did on purpose. I had no intentions of adding a bow. I have the ribbons there. I wrapped them up again. You know, I put the plastic around it again because I knew I wasn't going to add a bow to it. Okay. So my sign is secure. It's not moving. That's what I like. I don't like my signs to move. See how pretty that looks? Oh God, I love it. Already, I love it. I love it. This is nice. Awesome. And I went right on. Got to turn it a little bit. Okay. Sign seems like it manufacturing. I got a tiny bit of glue on there. Can't do anything about it. Is what it is. Okay, so see how pretty. Okay, so now let's add our ribbons to it. So these are our ribbons. Now, you might think, why is she adding blue to this? She's crazy, right? And I thought about it as well. I'm like, why am I adding blue to this? Because of these little berries that it has here. They have blue, and my gut told me to go with this one. I had other blues, and I said, no, I wanted to add this one. So let's see. All right, so these are cut at 14 inches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place one on top of the other, find the midpoint, pinch it, and then go to wherever you start. You're going to open up this the ties, close them again. This time you're going to close them securely. This time I like to turn it like 2 or 3 times. And then once you have them there, you're going to separate. Kind of make that X. Some people like to make a V. But depending on where the sign is, or where the direction of the sign is, the ones right around on the top level, they do have different directions. But see? It's cute. I like it. So they might not all be facing in the same direction for the top level. Okay. So I'm opening this. Same thing. All the way around. So it's brave of me to add blue. This was brave. I just saw those little berries and I was like, you know what? We gotta add the blue. We gotta add the blue. Most people might be looking at me like I'm crazy. But hey. Out of your comfort zone, right? That's how you grow. Look. And the farmhouse stripe helps with the burlap. I mean, come on. This is gonna be gorgeous. Well, at least to me. At least to me. To my taste. This is cute. Hopefully tomorrow. No, I'll probably take photos of it on Monday. I know myself. I always say I was going to do it the next day. I have to prep these. Usually it's like Monday mornings because my son is ready, logged on for school. And before the sunlight hits my door, my front door, that's when I take my photos. So I make sure he has his breakfast, he's ready, he's logged on. I rush out and I take photos. My neighbors see me like the crazy lady with my camera taking photos. Because I learned how to use we have a DSLR camera that we got a few years ago. Well, actually a lot of years ago. And I learned how to use it. Thank God. I took a course. Found it on Groupon at a local photography place. And they had like a 3-day course. And I went. It was 3 days, like over a few weeks, and I learned the basics, and thank God I did. Because I am able to, and you can do this, it doesn't have to be a DSLR camera, like even a point and shoot camera has like the aperture, the ISO, all that stuff. And you learn how to basically play with it, like depending on the sun shifts or a cloud comes in or whatever. So I learned how to do that. So that's why I say my neighbors must see me like out there with the camera looking like a crazy person taking photos of my Wreaths every morning. That's all we have so far. See how the blue works? The blue definitely works. And then remember, the sign has yellows in it. It has yellow flowers. So we're going to add yellow flowers. Remember these flowers back here? Where are they? Back here? It's going to all tie in together. This is pretty. This is like so springy. And yes, we need spring. We seriously need spring. We've had a lot of snow this year. And we did have flurries today. Yes, we did. We had flurries. My heart just stopped. I did not think we were gonna have more snow. And when I saw the flurries, I was like, no way, it's not over yet. I really like the blue. I really, really, really do. But you see how the ribbons aren't getting squished up? See, first level's done. That's pretty. That's cute. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the bottom level. Once we work on the bottom level, I know I cut too much ribbon, I'm pretty sure I did. Then after that we add our florals, and that's it, we're finished. Because I'm not adding a bow. I'm not adding a bow today. So the bottom level is a little bit more, it's usually like the same when I work with the bottom level. It's like I'm more consistent with it because I let the 2.5 ribbon be vertical, same as the mesh. See that? And you can move them around, do them however you like, but I tend to do them vertically. And then once they're up, like on a door, when you're going to set it up for photos and stuff like that, then you could like move them around a little. But remember, this is the last time. This really is the last time where we're going to open these ties. So now make sure that they're nice and tight and secure. Add like three turns to them. Make sure they're nice and tight. This ribbon also reminds me of nautical themes. To do nautical themes, I gotta start working on the beach stuff. I have tons of signs that I bought years ago, and I've been so crazy busy, I haven't been able to work on them like every year. This year, I'm making sure to get through all of them. And I have a lot of them. The cool thing about the signs, and this is stuff that happened last year, that I bought all my florals last year. I bought blue florals specifically for nautical wreaths. I have the signs. I'll add them to a grapevine. And then we add our blue and white florals to it. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to be fun. I feel like I need to order more of this ribbon from those nautical wreaths. Because I actually bought this last year, this ribbon. It's very popular. It's not going to go anywhere. They have it in different colors. They have it in the black. They have it in black and white. They have it in this blue with the ivory. Black and ivory. And I've seen a red as well. So I actually just stole this from my nautical wreaths that I had thought of last year. That's what happens, then you end up buying more ribbon. Place an order with the wholesaler. They have minimums, so you end up adding a lot more stuff. Okay. Oops, excuse me 1 second. I have a runny nose on here. Excuse me. Oops. Let me use my. Alrighty. Just a few more. And we are finished. With the ribbons. With the ribbons, because we still have to add our florals. Now if you notice, these zip ties, not zip ties, I'm sorry, the ties on the wreath actually match the burlap. That's not always the case when I work with them. A lot of times they are different. I had a white one and I debated on using that one, but given the edge of the sign, I decided to go with the burlap, because the white I felt like was going to be a little bit too much in your face. There isn't any white here. There's a tiny bit of white in the pink mesh, but it's not crazy amount of white. Everything else is more like an ivory, creamier color. So the white ties were going to be way too much of a dramatic, like too much contrast. Way too much contrast. And I did cut too many. I cut two extras, but I could use these to finish off my wreath at the end when I'm cleaning up the back. Oh, that's so frustrating. It's like you're wasting a ribbon. Okay, so here we are at the end. Last one. Yay, see? How pretty is that? See how the blue works? You don't even know. It's like, if you're like, why does the blue work? It's simply because you have the blue in the sign. It ties it in all together. So pretty. Okay, so now we got our florals. We gotta add the florals to it. All right, we gotta move our wreath over. We're relocating it over here. See that? Because now we have to cut our florals. I'm like on a super daring mode. I don't know what's up with me today. But we're gonna add these super bright ones. Are these too bright? Ooh, I don't know if these are too bright. Now I'm wondering if these are too bright. You know what? Let's add them for now. Let's not secure them. I'm trying to see if I have any other yellows. I don't think I do. I don't have any other yellow. I'm placing an order. But do you see the intention? Let's just use them. Let's just place them. Let's place them for now. And see what we got. But the point was I wanted to use a yellow. But I think these yellows might be a little bit too bright. So we're going to cut these. I'm going to cut these all of them. Got to call my friends over at Greenery Market where these came from. And see if they have a more like muted color. Okay, I'm not going to cut these yet. I'm going to place these and then we'll cut these. So let's count. Let's always do this. We always count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And we're going to use them all. I haven't been using all my materials and I don't like that because then afterwards we have extras and nobody likes extras. It's not nice to have extras around the house. Alright, so this one, yeah, this is bright. But you know what? It might work. It might work. If we have the green and all that stuff, it might be fine. So I'm going to add this one to the top. So what I'm doing is I'm making like a little ring here, little circle, and I'm inserting the floral. This might be a little bit bright, I'm not gonna lie. Might be a little bit too bright, I'm not sure. Not gonna lie, I'm not. We have 8. So usually I like to just go around the perimeter and skip and then fill in. But what if this one goes right on it? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna change this. And hey, this could change again. It could change again. I just changed my mind on it right now. I just feel like it looks better there. Now what I'm gonna do with these is add a steel pick to them to secure them to the wreath. You know what? The yellow actually doesn't look bad. The yellow does not look bad. I thought it was gonna be too bright, but it's not looking bad. Especially because we're gonna be adding more greenery to it. So it's not gonna be so in your face. I mean, your eyes do go to it, but that's why you distribute it evenly. Because if it was like one yellow flower right here, your eyes are gonna go right to it, so it's gonna be kind of distracting. But that's why we're not doing that. We're gonna evenly disperse everything. Evenly distribute. I have to take them out again. That's like the frustrating part. I have to do it again. It's okay. So we skip one. See, and this is the beauty of ordering your wreaths. I'm sorry, your wreath forms from a wreath supplier. Simply because if you notice, I was able to go around it evenly. You can't do that with the other ones. Now, if I were to add a bow and all that stuff, then you wouldn't really notice as much, but it makes a difference. At least to me, I feel like it makes a difference. Add one here. This is super bright. I just saw it on the computer, and I could see it's so bright. So you must be seeing it like. So like I said, I might switch these out. I might. If I could place an order. My friends at Greenery Market are going to just die laughing if I end up placing another order. Just for florals. For this wreath. They're moving right now, so their website's down, so I really can't. Really can't. Okay. So that's super bright. I think that's a little bit too bright. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, let's just keep going because this is all learning. And if I change it in the end, I'll show you. I'll end up showing the video. But they're very bright. They're very, very, very bright. I think I needed a creamier one. And I do not have a creamier. I keep looking over. You can see me looking over those because I'm trying to see all my florals. And I don't have anything that's creamier than those. I do have hydrangeas, but I don't think the hydrangeas, well, let's see. No, I only have 3. These are too white. These hydrangeas, is that, no. We need the yellow. So, they disappear. So, let's keep going with our first intention was what's, we're going to just like that. Okay, so this, we could divide it into 3, which is what we're going to do. But then, we're going to divide it more than that, maybe. Maybe. We're going to have all these extra leaves. So we just, 4. We have a smaller one. Actually, if I cut this one like this, it looks like it's part of it. So like 4. So we have 4. Save those little leaves. So we have 4. I'm only going to work with the 4 for now, and then we'll come back and do the other 4. Add one right there. See my intentions? Do you see what my thought process is here? Why I'm doing this? Oh, this is actually not 4. This is 5. This is 5. Yeah, 5. Sweet. See that? 5. Nice. Even better. Even better. my hope is that these pink ones, I'm sorry, yeah, these pink lilies end up balancing out the yellow, but I don't know if it will. I don't know. The yellow is very yellow. It's like super yellow. Super duper yellow. Insanely yellow. So had it been a little teeny bit less yellow, like not as bold, it would have been perfect. But I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to work with what I have. So that's why I'm in this situation right now. And I think I may have to buy more florals. Would I use beige? I don't think I would use beige. On like an ivory? I don't think so. I don't think I would. So how many spots do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. And these give us 5. How long have I been on now? Not 2 hours yet. I cut that one off. It's okay. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna place one right here. How does your eye look? They're super bright, right? We gotta get rid of those. We gotta get rid of them. They're too yellow. They're too yellow. I'm trying to be good. Work with what I have. I'm gonna keep saying it because we overbuy. I am like the queen of overbuying supplies. And I justify every single purchase. Every single purchase is justified. Just ask my husband. Every single purchase is justified. Like I just recently bought more signs. And I really needed them. Like this one was part of my purchase. And he's like, well, you're gonna have to go buy signs. I said, hey, I have tons of mesh, but I don't have signs for them. He's like, well, I guess you have to go buy signs. I was like, you think so? You think I can make it happen without them? He's like, no, you're gonna have to go buy signs. Like, all right, thanks. So I went shopping. I'm right in my Hobby Lobby buying signs. But I'm gonna have to buy, see, we had one left over. Where am I gonna put it? I don't know, but we're gonna have to find a place for it because I don't want to have so many leftover materials. Like I said, I've been doing that a little bit too much where we have all these leftover materials, and I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna change these eventually, but oh wait, before we do that, let's add the greenery. So the greenery, and I'm glad let's add the greenery. I think the greenery will help tone it down a bit. So this greenery is the famous Julie's Fairy Bush. I had already cut it last week because I was intending on using it on the mesh wreath that I was working on, and then I changed my mind. A few of these fell off. It's okay, I'll add them again. But these are very full. These are amazing. I haven't spread them out, but like I said, I cut them already last week because I was planning on using them. But I never spread them out because I changed my mind. And this was during the live. But I'm going to spread these out now. This is missing. Yeah, I'm also trying to see who's missing these. Oh, this is missing it. You know, it's okay. We'll add it afterwards. At least I didn't know who's missing. And this guy's missing it too. This guy's missing it. But maybe, if we add this, it'll tone down our wreath a bit. Because right now, it's pretty loud with that yellow. It's pretty loud. There you go, I found one. See? I don't like those little fillers to go to waste. Alright, so how many of these do we have now? Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Okay. Now, what I am going to do with these is add a steel pick to it. Add some glue, and then I'm going to attach it to the additional spaces that we have in here, and that's to fill up the wreath. But I'm not doing it right now because I don't have my glue pad going, and it wouldn't make sense. So like I said, I'm just showing you how I would place these, but you're gonna see this wreath is gonna be super full, super duper full. Okay, so I'm gonna add this guy right here, which is also part of the reason as to why I picked the 21 inch, because the 21 inch mesh, because it's so gathered, it helps catch the steel pick. I am very paranoid about my steel pick machine. I already received 2 stitches. If you haven't heard me say it before, it wasn't the machine itself, it was me working with trying to replace it. I mean, I'm sorry, trying to remove it with my hands, and I ended up getting 2 stitches. But the point is that whenever I work with steel picks and mesh, I'm super paranoid. Super paranoid, because I'm afraid that someone, if it's not secure towards the bottom, that someone could get hurt with it. So that's why I don't like it. However, if you're working with a 21 inch mesh that's a much thicker when you're making your loops, then it looks way better. I mean, you don't have to worry as much. Because again, if you add the pick to it, as close to it, you're not going to add all this space to it. You add it as really close to where the pick is. I'm sorry, to the end of like where the bush is, then it catches it. And it took me a long time to believe it, because like I said, I've already been hurt with it. So I'm super duper paranoid. Super respectful of my steel pick machine. So yes, these are gonna have steel picks. Like I said, right now I'm just placing them, which means it's more work. I would definitely prefer to just add them right now, but I didn't get my machine going. My mesh. I'm sorry, not my mesh. My glue pot. My glue pot wasn't going. See how it fills it up? That's pretty. If it wasn't for those bright yellow flowers, but it's pretty. Even with the bright yellow flowers, it's pretty. Let's. I'm staring at it because I'm trying to see where I'm going to place the next one. If you're wondering, why am I just standing here staring at it? There's a strategy to it. You don't want to overcrowd in just one section. I have one more. I could place it. Oy, should I have separated these more? I don't know. Thinking the last one would be best. Oh, I just separated it. Where does it go best? So we have 1, 2, 3 would go there. And the third one will go best up here. Maybe? Oh, it's not catching it. Well, of course it doesn't have a steel pick in it, but you get the draw. You get the idea. There. I'm not securing it. These fall out. I'll add them. I'll fix them afterwards. But these, it's not my lights. It's not just my lights that are super bright. These flowers are bright. I keep looking at them in the screen. Yeah, we need them to tone down. But the point is, you see what I did. You see the point. The flowers are very, very bright. I didn't think of that when I was working on, but these flowers will look amazing in the summer wreath. This is spring. Before summer wreath, these flowers will be awesome. This with like the yellows with blues and oranges, right on point. But for this one, they're a little bit overpowering, I think, at the moment. Maybe if I see it in a different light, maybe if I look at it tomorrow. But right now, it seems a little bit too much for me. Okay, so this is what we have. Again, I might change these florals, even though they're very pretty, but I feel like your eye goes a little bit too much to it. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments. I know that I'm like by myself here right now because it's late, but if you're watching the replay, again, hashtag replay, and let me know, is it too bright? Would you leave it like this? I'm thinking of changing them, but if I do change them, I have to place an order, and an order means that I have to wait, right? And also, who orders just one bush, right? Who does that? Nobody does. Nobody orders just one thing. I'm gonna end up ordering more stuff. So that's it. So there it is. There's the final product. We're not gonna add any bows to it. This is that. And it fell out. It's okay. It's okay. Where was it? Down here. It's okay. There we go. Or was it over there? Doesn't matter, because we're gonna secure it afterwards. Again, to secure those, I'm gonna add a steel pick with glue, and then add them in the same spot right there. Same thing with these florals right here with the lilies. The ranunculus, I'm hoping to find a less intense color, because I feel like they're a little bit overpowering for this wreath. But hey, live and learn, right? But hopefully you got something out of it. Oh, hi Tina, how are you? But the winter, we need bright spring. I know we need bright spring, but they're killing me. I feel like it's a little bit too much. And I didn't even think of it when I set everything up last night, and everything, all my wreaths are pretty much ready to go. And I was down here last night and I didn't even see it. And right now I started working on it. I'm like, wait a minute. But I don't know. They're pretty. I just feel like at least your eye doesn't go to one section. It goes, because they're distributed evenly. But I won't be able to list this for at least another week or so. So it's okay. It's okay. If I have to buy florals, I have to buy them. Because I definitely don't have any. You see me scanning. I definitely don't have any other yellows. Yellow florals. But that's it. That's what I have for today. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. I'm always learning too. It's like, this is a learning process. I'm trying to help you. Please help me with your comments. It's always, I can take it. It's all criticism is constructive. That's the way I see it. So thanks again, and have a great night. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again tomorrow. But tomorrow in Spanish, all right? Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you. Bye.